Hello, my name is George. A mentor for the GATS program 2020. Okay, so today I'll be doing another episode of my YouTube sessions. Today we'll be looking at deploying apps to Google Cloud, and today's zone is going to be most interesting. We will be deploying to 3 platforms: App Engine, Kubernetes, and Cloud Run. Okay. Of course, the lab will last for an hour, 30 minutes. And of course, we get a total of 15 marks if we do all the tasks as expected. So let's look at the objectives for today's lesson. We will download a sample app from GitHub. We will deploy to App Engine. Then we'll deploy to Kubernetes, and then we'll deploy to Cloud Run. Okay, so those are what we will be doing today. Okay. All right. So, of course, we will require to use the credentials that will be provided by Quick Labs. Don't use your own personal emails. If you do, you will get charged. Okay. We'll download a sample app from GitHub. And of course, we will clone, create a directory first, change into the directory, and then clone this repository. Change into that this location in that cloned repository, and then install requirements from our application requirements.txt files, and then we run the application. After that has been done, the next thing we do, we will deploy our application, set up an app.yaml file to be able to deploy to App Engine, and then of course, the next one will be to Kubernetes, then we'll use Cloud Run. So let's start the lab, and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, so click on that, open the console, click on that to copy that, paste that in there, hit enter, repeat for the password, okay, and hit enter. All right, we accept that, and then we click confirm to move to the next window. Do not do any updates of your email. Email doesn't belong to you. It's a temporary email provided by Quick Labs, so we simply just click on up, confirm, and move to the next window. Okay, so we affirm, we agree to this, and then we ignore this, and then we move ahead to start the lab. Okay, of course, I usually just activate my Cloud Shell in case I need it, and I also get rid of this one by clicking here so that I have more real estate to work with. Okay, so let's look back, let's scroll up and check out what we're supposed to do first. Okay, we will need to make a directory with this command. Okay, so give this a bit of time. Okay, it's up and running. Paste that in, hit enter, and the directory is there. We change into the directory with that command, and then we clone the repository we'll be using for this Quick Labs session. Okay, that'll just take less than a minute. While that is going on, let us copy this, and of course, okay, I said less than a minute, but it should, if our network is cooperating. Okay, all right, so all right, just give a few seconds. I don't think we'll be using the editor today. I'm doubtful we'll use it, so it's going to be simple and straightforward. But if we have to, then we will open the editor when needed. Okay, all right, so that's done. Let's change into the directory. We have done that, and then we will run this to install the requirements for our application. Okay, all right. Okay, that's been done, and then we'll run the application. Let's put that in there and hit enter. Okay, so on port 8080, And of course, let's check out the application and see what we actually deployed. So let's see. All right, hello GCP. Okay, simple application. All right, so let's stop the application by using the command Control+C on our keyboard, and of course the editor will be used. So let's click on that, and while that is coming up, so task 2, we need to deploy to App Engine. So inside that folder where we actually run the application from, we'll be creating app.yaml file and we're pasting in some things. So let's all right, so let's click this to training, and let's go back and see where we should be at. Training courses, design process, training design. Okay, courses, it should be here. Okay, let me pull this, take this up a bit. Okay, design process, deploying apps, design process. Okay, that's it. Deploying apps, and then that. Okay, so let's go back. They said select this directory folder in the Explorer tree, select new file, name app, select new file, and name that file app.yaml. Okay, so from this directory, right click and say we want to create a new file, call it app.yaml. Okay, all right, so in that file we will paste this to tell App Engine what runtime we'll be using. Then in a project, it said save the changes. Okay, that's just practically what we'll be doing. Save, let me say save all, just in case. Okay, all right, so there are other settings you can add to the app.yaml file, but in this case only the language runtime is required. Of course, this could be passed to the command from the terminal, if you wanted to use that. So in a project, an App Engine application has to be created. This is done just once using Google App Create command, and specify the region where you want the app to be created. Okay, so let's enter the following command that will create an App Engine deployment in the specified region. So let's hit that and see what happens. Okay, it says creating an App Engine application for a project is irreversible and the region cannot be changed. So that's been done. Then now deploy your app with the following version. So we created an App Engine. We created, I said, let me read that again. You are creating an app for your project. Okay, that's been created. Now we need to deploy our app to that after we have created our App Engine. So okay, so let's select this one, and of course it's version 1 and we don't want any output, so we have quiet as an option there. So let's oh sorry, I did the wrong thing. Let me select that one too again. So drop that there and hit that. Okay, all right, so okay, so it just pulls up everything in that folder, and of course it uses the app.yaml file for its configuration. In that case, we just asked it to use the runtime of the Python runtime of 3.7. Okay, so after that we'll check our application and see. So it's still building up, so let's minimize this and then let's click this. Let's go to App Engine, the dashboard. Okay, so hold on. Okay. All right, so okay, so let's check this. Let's bring up our terminal. Still deploying. Okay, so let's be patient. Okay. Upper right hand corner. Okay, if we check this upper right hand corner, there's nothing there yet. So let's just hold on, let it deploy. All right, so the deployment has been done. Okay, it said the right hand corner. Let's refresh this. Oh, should we? Okay, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we are told, let me click this one, select that one. Oh, sorry, that has jumped off. All right, so it says on the navigation menu, click App Engine Dashboard. In the upper right corner of the dashboard is a link to your application similar to this one. I don't see that. Let's close this. Let me take this here, go back here. So say the upper right hand corner, I don't see that here. Okay, I don't see that here at all. Okay, upper right hand corner. Okay, let's click on this. Actually, that is trying to create one. Okay, so that's not what we're trying to do, so let me cancel out that, and let's minimize this. Okay, I don't see any link. Okay, let's click this. Let's go services. Let's check the services. We should see that there. Okay, that's there. Default. Let me close this, hide this panel. Okay, so that's our application, version 1. While that's okay, let's see our application. Okay, that's it. Okay, so you actually need to go to services, not dashboard. Dashboard didn't show us anything. Let's click back on the dashboard and see. Okay, so now the dashboard now has this, and of course that's the link, but initially it wasn't showing up, so that's that. Okay, so by default the URL to an app engine application is in the form https project.id.appsports.com. okay, click on the to test your program. We've done that. In the code editor, expand training data analysts folder, deploying apps to GCP folder in the navigation pane on the left, then click main.py to open it. In there, change the title to Hello App Engine. Okay, let's select that one. Let's go back here and let's bring this up. Click this, and of course we should see our files. Okay, when we change that, we save that, and of course we redeploy, and then we'll call that version 2. No promote. Of course, it doesn't change. We don't see traffic moved to the new version. Okay, it remains. It says the no promote parameter tells App Engine to continue serving requests with the old version. This allows you to test the new version before putting it into production. Okay, so let's click this, and we'll click courses, deploy design process. Let's see, find the right place. Deploying to this, of course we click this. Okay, and change this from this to this. Okay, so we save all, and of course we deploy. This time version 2, and we don't actually start serving from that version of our application. Okay, so okay, it's deploying, and then what next? When the command completes, return to the App Engine dashboard, click the link again, and version 1 will still be returned. It should return Hello GCP. This is because of the no promote parameter in the previous command. On the left, click the version link. Notice that 2 versions are listed. Okay, all right, you might need to refresh to see the second version. Click on the version 2 link to test it. It should return hello app engine. To migrate production traffic to the version 2, click split traffic at the top, change the version to 2 and click save. Give it a minute to complete. Refresh the browser tab that earlier returned hello GCP. It should now return the new version. Okay, so that's been done. What are the first things we do? We'll click on versions. Okay, so versions, let's minimize that. Okay, so version 2, version 1, you can see it is purely a version 1 that's being served. Even if we refresh this, it still gives us hello GCP. Okay, so what do we do next? To start serving version 2, click on split traffic, which is here. Okay, click this. Okay, and then they ask us which version we want to serve from. It's not showing. I think we're told to refresh the page. Okay, so let's go back first. Let's test this one and see what happens. All right, we're redirected. Okay, hello app. You see, that's the difference. This is version 2, version 1. Okay, so let's close this, and then we're told to okay, we might need to, okay, we've seen that one already. So split traffic, okay, still version 1, that's not what we want. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, IP address random. Okay, these are the rules by which you split the traffic. So let's go back here and select this one. Okay, migrate traffic, no, you don't need to. Let's go back up here. So let's see, click on the version 2 to test it. To migrate production traffic to version 2, click split traffic at the top, change the version to 2 and click save. Okay, so we have clicked split traffic, and then now it shows up. Okay, so let's choose a version. Okay, now it shows up. So it just takes a few minutes, and then we'll click save. Okay, so we'll give it a few minutes and it should split. Let's go back. Has successfully split. Okay, so the traffic's now here. So let's refresh the former and just give it a few changes to the new version. Okay, so we check our progress here. Okay, so that's 5 marks, I believe. Then the next task is to deploy to Kubernetes engine. Kubernetes engine allows you to create a cluster of machines and deploy any number of applications to it. Kubernetes abstracts the details of managing machines and allows you to automate the deployment of your application with simple CLI commands. To deploy an application to Kubernetes, you first need to create a cluster, then you need to add a configuration file for each application you will deploy to the cluster. On the navigation menu, click Kubernetes engine, and if a message appears saying Kubernetes API is being initialized, wait for it to complete, then click on create cluster. Accept all defaults and click create. When the cluster is ready, a green check appears. Click connect. In the connect to the cluster screen, click run in Cloud Shell. This opens Cloud Shell with the connect command entered automatically. Press enter to connect to the cluster. To test your connection, enter the following command. So we'll use this to get the nodes, number of nodes in our current cluster. So let's click on this, Kubernetes clusters. Okay. All right, so create. All right, so we don't need this. Let's just close that. Accept all the defaults and create. You're not supposed to change anything. All right, so once it's up and running, we will connect to it, and of course test it out by running kubectl get nodes. Okay, so we'll connect and run in the shell. That's the method we'll use to connect to our clusters. All right, so let's give it a minute. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, still coming up, so let's just hold on to that. Okay, all right, so then of course we'll make another edit. So while that is coming up, we could easily let's go ahead and make the edit. So click here, and of course, what are we changing this time? We're changing to hello Kubernetes engine. Copy. Okay, go back here and change this, paste that in there, and of course save. Okay, come back to terminal, minimize this, save the changes, and add a file name Kubernetes config. Copy. Kubernetes config. Whoa, sorry, I made a mistake there. I think I chose something wrong. Let's go back. Sorry. So add a file name this to this folder and then paste this code in there. So let's go back. While that is running, let's come here and we'll create a new file. Call it that. Click on that. So take this up a bit. So let's add the whole of this. This will create a deployment with 3 pods, sorry, and expose port 80, and of course use a service of type load balancer to expose our application. That the image part will be placed here, which we'll get later. So let's drop that here and just save that. Okay, so let's come back here and see. All right, for more information, okay, to use, we need to build a Docker image. Enter the following commands to use Cloud Build to create the image and store it in the registry container. Okay, so let's run this command. Okay, this is ready. So while that is getting ready, we can just paste this in here and let that run. Okay. All right, so let's minimize that. It won't stop it from running. So let's click connect. Connect in Cloud Shell. To bring up our Cloud Shell once more. It should. If it doesn't, you click here. Okay. Oh, I think our current activity has stopped it from coming up. So don't worry about that. Let's click a new tab. Let's open a new tab there. Okay, so now let's click this again and click this. Aha, there you go. Now let's connect, and remember we were supposed to run the kubectl command to get pods. Okay, I think it's nodes, not pods, but let's check it out. No, so it should be pods. We haven't deployed anything, so we don't have, so it's nodes, not pods. So let's bring this up again, and this time it's nodes. Sorry, nodes. Aha. Okay, so we have 3. Okay, and they're all ready. All right, so let's look here. All right, this has, we build an image and deploy it to Google Cloud container registry. So that's there waiting for us. We will need the image URL to be able to add it to our Kubernetes deployment. Okay, so that works. Now, okay, when this other command we ran in the previous tab completes, we should see something like this, and then this would be the URL of our image. Okay, so let's check to see if we have something like that. Do we have that? Okay, so there it is. So let's copy that, and that's copied. Come back here, open our editor and go up, and there it is. This is where we paste that here. Okay, and then of course we save all. Let's go back to instructions. Okay, that's that. Now enter this command to apply that configuration. Okay, so we come back to terminal and container clusters, get credentials. Okay, so we run the second one. All right, okay, actually I would want to do that. Okay, it did run. Okay, so let's paste that in here. Okay, this second command actually sets the context for our kubectl commands and make sure it's run against our current cluster. So let's click this again to select that command. Let's come back here. We need to be in the folder where that manifest file is, so it should be here. But it appears I'm having issues with my network. Let me check that. Yes, I am. I'm having issues with my network. Oh, that's great. All right, so let's see this one, the same thing. So just give it a few minutes, let my network come back online. Okay, so we're back online. So let's do that. It's YAML. Okay, several YAMLs are there. So let's delete the YAMLs. Okay, and leave that one. Okay, so that's the command. Let's run that command. Okay, let's go back. All right, so that's been created. The deployment has been created. So now let's check the number of pods. It should be 3. Let's clear the screen and do that. All right, so container is being created. So it's still being created. Okay, they're not yet ready. Ready none. So we'll keep checking. Simply run that command. Okay, they're all ready. Okay, that's 1/1. They're all ready. Then we get the services, and of course we also created a service that exposed those pods to external. Okay, so the external IP for our deployment is still coming up, so we'll just give it a moment, and of course give it some time. Okay, wait for that. It's pending, so let's check it again. Aha, we now have an external IP, which is this. All right, so it says when you have open a browser tab, when you have the external IP, open a browser tab and make a request to it. Okay, so let's make a request to that IP address. All right, there you go. So that's our Kubernetes deployment. Then we'll check our progress by clicking on that button. Then we go to the last one, which is to use deploy to cloud run. Okay, so we return and do something similar. This time around, we change the code there to hello cloud run. So let's go here, click on our editor, go to our main file, and do this, paste this here. Okay, so we save that, save all, and that's that. All right, so open, of course, we change this entry to this, as you see here, and then save the changes. To use Cloud Run, you need to build a Docker image in Cloud Shell. Enter the following commands to use Cloud Build to create the image and store in a container registry. Okay. All right. So, okay. So what did we do in the previous one? Let's go back. Let's go up. Okay. We actually passed the path to the image, and the container had not been created, just the image. So we're going to create a container using that image. We will use the Cloud Build command, and then we will submit. When we pass in the submit command, that will submit it and place it in the Google Cloud container registry. Okay, so let's do that. Let's come back here. Oh, okay, so let's do that. We're having issues with internet. Okay, so let me paste that. Okay, need to be patient. My internet is erratic, so let's be patient a bit. It should come online in the next minute or two. Okay, meanwhile, let's go back and check out the instructions. Okay, once that completes, we navigate to Cloud Run. Okay, it's not enabled by default, so we will enable the API when, of course, we're presented with that. Okay, so click Create Service, accept the defaults, deployment platform section, give any name to the service, and select Allow all authenticated invocations options. Click Next. Click Select Link in the image, container image URL text box. In the resulting dialog, expand Cloud Run image and select the image listed, then click Continue. Okay, so it lists out the images that are found in the container registry, and then of course you can pick the one you want to use, and in your case we just have one. Okay, so that's done. Let's build the container using the image we created previously, and then push that to the container registry. Okay. All right. All right, so we're doing that. Okay. 7 steps. We've done 6, 7. Okay, and we're done. Now time for the last part. Okay, so that's done. Let's go back here, and then we'll go to Cloud Run. So let's minimize this. Let's click on this, go down. The Cloud Run should be here under Compute Services. All right, so we'll create a service. Okay, of course it's enabling the Cloud API, fully managed. Okay, it's enabling the service. Let's go back here. Okay, allow, click Next. Allow or okay, allow unauthenticated invocations. You need to give it a name. Okay, give any name to the service. Okay, so let's give it any name. Let me call it God. Okay, and then click Next. Okay, were we to specify any particular regions? No. And then we not need to pick the image, container image, or the image container, which is it? All right, so just give it a few minutes. Okay, still running. Okay, so time to pick the image, deploy one version from our existing container image. Okay, so it's container image click select, and which one is it? Interesting. Okay, let's go back and check out the name. Let's see. Select the image listed, then click expand cloud run image. Okay. Let's hold on. Okay, so select this. Okay. All right, so which is it? Let's go back here. Let's go back. So the image, project ID, cloud run image version 1. Okay, cloud run image. Okay, that's the image. Cloud run image version 1. Select that one. Okay, and then what do we do next? Okay, let's click create. Okay, so let's do create here. All right, so that's coming up. Let's check out. We should see. Okay. All right, certain IAM policies. Routing traffic. Okay. Connections, YAML. Click on there. See the YAML we used. Okay, that we used to create the. That's the YAML file that we used to create the Kubernetes deployment. Okay, that's done. Very quick. Okay, so that's done. It's done. Okay, so what next? It shouldn't take long. When a green check mark when a green check appears, click on the URL that is automatically generated for the application. It should return hello cloud run. Okay, so that's the URL. So let's click on that and see what it gives us. Okay, so that's done. All right. Okay, logs, these are the logs. Okay, so let's check our progress by clicking on that button. Of course, we had completed. So all right, so that's the logs for it. Okay, so details. Okay, YAML file used for the deployment. Okay, so that and that. So we can close these windows and of course end the lab by clicking on end lab. Okay, leave a rating and then click submit. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you for watching, and please leave your likes and follow my channel.